Hey, level uppers, it's Larry, and this is a lore overview of one of the most intriguing dungeons in Kunark, the City of Mist. The story of the City of Mist, or by its actual name, Torsis, is a story of prosperity overshadowed by heartbreak. After the Shasar had succumbed to the Green Mist Plague, the Ixar people wasted no time before starting to build the foundations of their future empire over the next few hundred years. Most Ixar banded together into 5 major tribes and built cities, such as the Kunzar tribe building Charasis and the Kailong tribe building Vexar. Lord Rakashir would go on to build the city of Torsis, which would serve as a critical trade city for the Ixar. Through his leadership, the city would become the richest trade city Kunark had ever seen. Bustling bazaars, vibrant festivals, and devout faithfulness to the Church of Khazad-dûl were all pillars of this wildly successful city. With the eventual construction of Sebelis, the Ixar cities would thrive in might, power, and grandeur. Lord Rakashir's wife, Queen Neashir, was also instrumental to much of her husband's early success, and her and the Lord would eventually start a family by having a daughter. Despite the lavish and comfortable lifestyle, Queen Neashir would become weary and tired of her husband's politics, which started to take a toll on their relationship. There is a festival in particular that Lord Rakashir hosted to appoint another high priest into the Khazad-dûl clergy. The festival would also include the High Scale, which was an order of knights that would attend the event to present and judge various contests of skill in arms. One knight in particular that was present at this festival was named Kieran. Kieran may not have been the mightiest of knights, but he certainly had a successful track record out in the battlefield. He also had quite the controversial reputation amongst the High Scale. Traditionally, it wasn't uncommon for knights of the High Scale to practice complete celibacy. However, Kieran would convince the public that females played an integral role in the religious crusade, and that celibacy, while it still did have a purpose in divinity, non-celibacy also had equal importance within the church. The queen found Kieran's presence and energy to be quite attractive, and the two would have a secret relationship behind the back of Lord Rakashir. In one instance, the head housekeeper discovered Kieran's high-scale icon left behind in the royal chambers while Lord Rakashir was away on a journey. The queen's infidelity eventually turned into her disappearance from the city, and she would never be seen again. At least, not alive. Lord Rakashir was seemingly devastated by his wife's disappearance and immediately had scouts deployed to search the surrounding area for any traces of her, as well as hiring mercenaries to venture into dangerous Froglock territories in the event that she was kidnapped. But there would be some accounts that Rakashir was more aware of this betrayal than most thought. Whether it was a facade or general concern, nothing would surface. Lord Rakashir would question the faith of his god Khazad-dûl, and action as a result of his wavering faith started to become apparent to the church, whose funding was effectively reduced to nothing. And perhaps Lord Rakashir's wavering faith may have been set in motion by this betrayal. Khazad-dûl wasn't amused by one of his followers being a non-believer and taking an entire city with him, so a clear message had to be sent. Khazad-dûl would send a minion to kidnap his daughter and banish her into eternal torment, which would seal the fate not only for Rakashir but for the entire city of Torsis. In pure defiance and even hopelessness, Rakashir would start to set in motion the complete collapse of the trade city's economy. At this point, Khazad-dûl had had enough, and the same green mist that put an end to the former Ixar's oppressors, the Shasar, had come full circle and was deployed by the god of fear to obliterate the residents of Torsis. The once glorious city of Torsis, now consumed by mist, would have its residents replaced with their undead versions. The palace reavers and golems that were once assigned to protect the city were now left with no other directive than to destroy anything that would enter. Rakashir would also be conjured back into the city in spectral form, but even more disturbing is that so did the queen. And this was an indication that she never actually left the city after all. considering the fact that Kieran's death out in Otis happened well before this event occurred, the mystery behind her disappearance starts to take on a whole new meaning, and with Rakashir being at the center of it. And that's the lore behind the dungeon City of Mist that we all know and love. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check me out on Twitch and Discord, and we'll see you next time. Level up hype!